Taurus, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are brand new to the channel, I am JT. If you're cross-watching, you guys come in and check out the channel, all right? If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you, so cool. Appreciate you coming back to this community, okay? All right, like I say, just a general reading, so if the energy fits with you, awesome. If it doesn't, leave it for the next guy or next gal. All right. I've already pre-shuffled, but I want to stay as transparent as I can for you. So I'll give it a couple shuffles. We'll lay out the cards. Wow, I'm glad I did that. That was a nice shuffle. As I was saying, yep, we're going to go over the cards together, and I'll explain what's going on in your energy. All right. Feels good to me. Let's do this, okay? We're going to take a look at your present energy, your crossing challenge. We're going to look at the foundation. We're going to look at the recent past. Get these a little bit further. We're going to look at the possibilities, the near future. We're going to look at the self, the environment, hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and the outcome and the direction. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to clarify these cards for you, but before I get started, I have your 3 brand new poems from Haiku Corner. Okay, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed those. Those were specifically for you. I looked at the cards. There is a truth that you absolutely cannot unsee, and a definite choice that you're going to have to make. Let's get into it. We'll talk about it, okay? In this current energy right here, this is a breakthrough, a confession, the Ace of Swords, okay? Someone is finally saying the thing they've been holding back, okay? Or you're the one that's about to cut through the fog, okay? This is clarity that changes the trajectory of everything. This is someone finally admitting that they've been watching you on your social media, okay? Maybe for weeks, maybe longer, maybe months for some of you. But this is that text that's going to come in late at night that says, okay, I need to be honest with you about something, right? This is clarity about someone's definitely clarity about their intentions, okay? Whether they're serious or they're just, circling like the buzzards, okay? All right, this is a masculine energy who confesses maybe that they were jealous, or after pretending, not to care, that type of stuff. But if we're talking about a feminine energy here, it's one that's finally set some boundaries and says, hey, this is what I really need, okay? If this is you, it applies, cool, take the energy as it fits. But this is also the clarity on maybe discovering about some kind of an outside influence, third party could be, maybe that you didn't even know existed. A group of friends or something like that you'd hung around maybe, and you find out that somebody likes you in that mix that you never would have expected, okay? But this is definitely a truth about someone's past relationship coming out here, okay? I don't know. Maybe this is you gaining the clarity about or realizing that someone's mixed signals might have been out of fear, not necessarily from disinterest or something like that. But I feel like this is a conversation that may have been avoided is, going to finally happen here. Okay. Karmic lesson, maybe that becomes, painfully obvious. So you can't unsee that kind of with uncertainty anyway. This is over-explaining, typing, deleting, retyping a message, long paragraphs, not just, hey, how's it going, breadcrumbing, but you're going to notice this. They avoid eye contact with you maybe when they're speaking the truth. Something, I don't know, masculine and feminine energy here, but if we're talking about that, I would say the masculine is definitely going to be direct, blunt, and very decisive, okay? If we're talking about like in the feminine energy, this is intuitive clarity, the emotional honesty that's been needed here in this situation, okay? As far as like synchronicities, you could be seeing actual swords, if you're into that kind of thing, but like feathers or very sharp type energy or images, hearing songs about truth, right? I don't know. It could happen. If it does, let me know in the comments. That's pretty cool. But hey, so we're talking about, as far as timing, this truth, this clarity, we're talking about anywhere from 1 to like 7 days here. So this is very, very quick. This is in your present energy. So this is divine. Gemini, Libra season, any time now between March, I would say, and like September. I say quick, 1 to 7 days, but the energy that it's talking about could be anybody in between the Gemini to Libra type energies there. It doesn't have to apply, but it could. So now we're moving on into the challenge, right? And this is where it gets really interesting. Nostalgia, past connections, old lovers, childhood wounds, those are all kind of the generic forms, right? Someone from the past resurfacing, but this challenge is about letting go of what once was, right? And whether or not you're going to revisit that, okay? This could have the influence of like suddenly one of your exes, okay? They view, I don't know, maybe view something on online or whatever about you or about something you're doing, and it's after being silent with them, right? Of course, but maybe them wanting another chance or something. Okay, this could also be like you comparing a new person to someone that you once loved deeply, is why I mentioned that. But childhood wounds that might be influencing the current relationship pattern. This doesn't have to apply, but what I really find interesting is this soulmate connection. Okay, the familiarity in it. Okay, but very confusing, right? So it's kind of like that stuck in the good old days energy, but the it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Okay, so that's kind of where it's like being pulled between the past and the future. You may be experiencing that, okay? We could be talking about somebody here that's got maybe like soft eyes, brown, or like hazel. I don't know, seeing somebody that kind of like reminds you of that person or somebody, okay? So yeah, it's like reminiscent, bringing up old memories or, the apology for a past mistake, something like that. It's definitely got both masculine and, feminine type energies. For the masculine, I would say it's got that, we're talking about energies now here, not gender specific, but definitely that nostalgic, sentimental, and for the feminine, it's got that, very forgiving, but still in the cautious type area, right? So the synchronicities, like old songs, maybe there's like old, I don't know, high school photos or something like that, but anything like past lovers resurfacing, those kinds of things. Definitely Mercury retrograde, okay, or during like Cancer season, something about that time, like the end of June, maybe I don't know, like the end of July. Doesn't have to be, but it could be. Okay, moving on into the foundation, this Queen of Wands. Okay, also this is confidence, this is magnetism, charisma, right? This is I'm stepping into my power and I effing know it. Okay. This is definitely the foundation of this reading, the glow up time, right? Okay. And that's why I said I kind of just feel like someone's very intimidated by how damn you look good. You know what I mean? And this is self-assurance, okay? And this is the way you're becoming, and you should be, rightfully so. You're beautiful. This is that feminine energy that's, fiery, fiercely protective, of her own independence. You could be like posting more, glowing more, right, in front of people. And definitely someone's noticing this, okay? This has got that jealous third party watching your social media, okay? Fire signs, energy like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they could definitely be drawn to you. Hell, I'm drawn to you just by the reading. But you are becoming that, that one that got away, okay? And that feels pretty good. Someone wants to pursue you, but maybe I don't know, maybe they fear like rejection. You've got that leadership quality about you, perhaps you're stepping into that kind of authority at work or wherever you're at, whatever your career is or something like that. But maybe somebody sees that and it's just got that fear of rejection type of energy. But we could also be talking about a karmic cycle that's ending because you have finally decided to choose yourself, right? This is persons. It definitely could be persons, but this is I'm staring at you. I hope you don't catch me lingering way too long, or they're complimenting you way more than usual. So pick up on that energy, okay? Pay attention to it. As far as masculine, it's got both masculine and feminine energy here. So like the feminine side would definitely be that magnetic, sensual, and confidence, right? And the masculine is that I am drawn in, like, moth to the flame. Very reactive, very, very passionate. We do have the wand here, okay? So just keep that in mind. You could be seeing synchronicities like cats, okay? You could actually be a cat lover, or this person could be. Fire imagery, sunflowers, that type of situation. Anyway, it could apply to somebody here, but just take what fits, right? Moving on into the recent past, again, we have that same kind of a fire energy, just sits on a kind of a different pedestal here. It's like a bold, passionate, masculine energy, who wanted you, right? But they probably weren't as consistent, and I don't know that you were definitely confident in that situation, but this feels like someone, who may have put the brakes on after doing that, after an energy that acted like, he had options, okay? But someone was hot and cold, and this left you definitely confused. So, they pursued you very intensely, then they pulled back. This is a person that's probably, I say probably, definitely a person who has a strong physical appearance, maybe. But they kind of lacked in the emotional department, okay, for you. But I'm not sure this could apply, but maybe it was the opposite way around. Maybe this person, was, you get my point. It's got that mutual kind of situation there. But a person that, maybe watched your stories, they didn't message, they were your, online presence, and didn't really, I don't know, it just somehow I get that feeling, my heart kind of dropped out there for a second. So it just tells me that there was definitely some time involved there, okay? I guess maybe they assumed that you'd always be around, okay? And but you realized you deserved way more than just passion alone. You have that Queen of Wands energy though. So yeah, I don't know. This is like they brag, they show off, they try to impress you kind of energy. It's got both masculine and feminine energy, but the masculine is very fiery, just impulsive kind of energy. But the feminine is definitely, I'm observing, I'm just kind of discerning, I'm watching. I'm just going to take a little step back. I'm not sure that I trust all of it yet. So I don't know. Anyway, so we could be talking about this presence right here happening maybe within the next, I don't know, couple weeks or something like that. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. Moving on into the possibilities for Taurus. And what we see is the Two of Wands. This is a choice. This is why I said before. This is where the tables are kind of turning. It's planning the next step, and it works on both sides of the table here. And I say that because this is someone maybe deciding whether to step forward or just to play it safe. This could be you, okay? But someone debating whether to message you. A long distance relationship that becomes way more serious. It's the crossroads point here. You're choosing between either like two people or two paths in some kind of situation there. Someone planning a future, but hasn't said it yet. Okay, so definitely that masculine energy. Stalking the social media. Checking the vibes, blah blah blah. But I don't know. You could be considering maybe making a move or travel, and this person knows this, so that might be what prompts the, put a fire under his ass to get him going. I say he doesn't have to be gender specific here. It could be applied to either gender, or non-gender specific. I'm not discluding anybody in this situation, but we are talking about, a definite new opportunity, whether that's job or whether that's relationship or something like that. Someone wants to take things definitely to the next level here. Maybe you're torn between, the two situations, the comfort or the expansion. So that's really one of those that you're going to have to, just kind of really ask those deeper questions. But I feel like either way, the karmic lesson's pushing you towards growth here, okay? This has that hesitate, they plan silently, they watch before acting kind of energy, okay? It does have both masculine and feminine energies here. The masculine is that strategic observant. I know I effed up here. I should have already made a move on this, but I didn't. So the feminine side would be, it's got that intuitive and waiting definitely for, get your shit together or, find alignment with someone else, right? So you could be seeing signs, like bird signs, maybe travel signs. I don't know, maps, something, you open up your glove box and an old map falls out if anybody ever uses those anymore, right? Or you're having trouble with your GPS coordinates, something like that. I don't know, one of those things. But definitely like a Aries type of energy here, So later on at the end of this month, moving into April season, something like that. Okay. All right, moving on into the near future for Taurus. Check it out. I love this. Okay, this is emotional maturity. Another change, right? It's that decision time. It's a masculine energy who feels deeply, okay, but hiding it very well. They want to open up slowly and carefully. And the reason is the king is definitely emotionally grounded here, okay? This is someone who confesses her feelings after holding them in, okay? You could be dealing with somebody who's got like maybe blue-green type eyes or something like that. I don't know. It just hit me. But yeah, someone who really wants to be real in a relationship, not just the chemistry of the relationship, okay? It's deeper. It's emotional intimacy, right? This is that apology that comes in with sincerity, okay? And you feel it, definitely a person who maybe ran but wants the stability now. I'm not sure, but this is attracting a more emotional, available type partner, right? And so that could result in like a soft, vulnerable, type of expression about their jealousy. Okay, if that comes in, you'll know exactly what I mean in that situation. But they speak their sorry. They choose their words very carefully, and they're going to show, affection through the actions this time. Okay, or if this is someone new, then that would be your sign there. So it does have a masculine, kind of a nurturing, protective type energy here. And if we're talking about the feminine side, we are talking about very receptive and emotionally open. I feel like you're going to know this. This is definitely beyond intuition here, Cole. So, you could be seeing signs of like hearts, very emotional songs at this time or during this time, the synchronicities, water images of, fish or anything that lives, breathes, survives by water, right? Okay, let's move now into the self. We have another beautiful card. 6 of Wands, okay? Victory, recognition, you're being seen. This is, we admire the hell out of you. You may be hearing that, okay? This is like kind of like stepping into the spotlight. And someone's definitely noticing. It could be about your social media or something like that. Your engagement maybe increases on social media, whatever. Someone's definitely complimenting, about your glow up time here. Getting attention from lots of different people. Receiving praise at work, okay? This is, winning some kind of achievement, or you pushed yourself into some kind of really cool milestone at this time, right? Someone becomes very protective because I feel like others are noticing you, right? We have this little fella down here in the corner. Used to say that people would be like, this person's very jealous of the writer, okay? You don't deserve the praise that you're getting. So it could be like a third party influence there. I'm not necessarily seeing it, but it could be. But I feel like the person that's becoming protective of you, you know what I mean? They feel your confidence, okay? And in their mind, I feel like they're saying, I only got a short amount of time to let this person know, right? They realize you're the prize, okay? So, you might be getting that people staring, smiling, or trying to impress you kind of energy. It does have both masculine and feminine energy. So, feminine energy is definitely radiant, admired, right? And the masculine is this proud, victorious. I don't know, not necessarily an arrogant, but it's a confidence that I think you're going to definitely recognize here. Okay, so a synchronicities would be just you're feeling that appraise, you're feeling the applause lately. Something about gold. Maybe you might receive something in gold, a gift or something like that. So just take what resonates here. Okay. All right. Now we're moving on into the environment. Now, a little bit of a twist here. Okay. This is someone around you guarded, very analytical or protective, of their heart. This could be that person watching you closely, or that third party influence I was talking about, right? Yeah. So this may be someone acting very cold towards you, all right, because they're afraid of getting hurt, afraid that maybe a little jealousy there. You're taking somebody from them. I'm not sure, or at least the attention away from them could be. Maybe they're very suspicious of your connection. Someone's watching your socials, in silence, that type of situation. Or this could represent somebody who's being, very vulnerable or afraid to be vulnerable. Okay. Maybe a third party tries to interfere on something like this, but I feel like this is, maybe someone who's giving you some mixed signals. But I feel like that they're scared. Okay. Really, we could be talking about somebody. Now, this is kind of a deep pull, but somebody who's got excuse me, the Queen of Wands is it's a double-edged sword. Okay. So she could actually be giving off a type of a stare. So you could be witnessing somebody in your mixed here who has like those very intense eyes. Okay. That's that I'm observing you. I think I want to say something, but I don't know. But anyway, so definitely a karmic lesson here, probably around boundaries, maybe something that might emerge like that. This could be talking about, short replies, the long pauses in between text or speaking or something like that, some kind of a guarded tone. But I feel like you're definitely going to recognize this. Okay. As far as the masculine or feminine energy, it's feminine is kind of like meeting the logical, protective side. Okay. And the masculine is the cautious and the observant. Okay. Once again, as far as maybe synchronicities, I'm not really sure. Maybe something about coldness, imagery, maybe even songs that come off as that cold or callous or calculated. If you're kind of hearing those songs or something like that, maybe birds might be involved in this. So definitely like an Aquarius or maybe a Libra season. Doesn't have to apply, but just take what resonates with you here. Moving on into the hopes, fears, wishes, and worries, we got the 10 of Pentacles. You want long-term stability. Let's face it. It's love, money, legacy, family, security. Okay. But I feel like you fear of maybe, choosing the wrong person here. Okay. You want that partner who's passionate, who's serious. This is the, I can't have this if the past mistakes are going to be involved here. I just assume, be sovereign and not choose vulnerability here. But this is wanting financial stability and long-term success, and it also has the hint that someone sees you as marriage material. Okay. I could make you my wife. I could make you my husband. That is definitely in this card. A person imagining a future with you, right? Just haven't said it yet, maybe, but so it gives you that I don't really want to waste my time with that type of an emotionally avoidant type person or anything like that. So you want that, it would be nice to build this generational wealth or an inheritance with the person to grow power couple dynamic, that situation. So anyway, this is a soulmate, who I don't know, maybe the connection feels like the one here. Okay. So we could be talking about the future indirectly someday, right? When things settle, if we ever, those kinds of conversations or questions maybe stirring in the mind, but it definitely has a masculine and feminine energy here, okay? It's got provider energy, and it's got that feminine nurturing, future focused type energy. So you could be seeing synchronicities about like hearing about job promotions or things around you, taking like that. Things about the home or family life or things like that, old photos, memories of things, nostalgic kind of information around you. As far as timing is concerned, we could be talking about maybe Capricorn in your timeline. I'm not sure. It doesn't have to apply, but it could. I mean, this is a beautiful situation, right? I feel like a conflict maybe, or just a misunderstanding, or a moment where definitely someone's ego maybe just gets in the way, okay? But this also has a turning point, right? It's forcing a truth, okay, a definite change. Maybe this jealous person is the one that's stirring up all this drama bullshit, okay, or that third party, who's trying to sabotage some connection for you. But I feel like you walk away from all this toxic pattern bullshit, okay? And maybe this masculine energy is realizing that they'd pushed too far, okay? So your feminine energy is just, I'm refusing to settle, but something, a karmic cycle or something definitely ends abruptly, all right? And so, excuse me, this could be just putting you on edge, feeling very defensive. My throat is starting to clog here. So what I'm getting at is there's definite communication that needs to be had, okay? So try to remain detached from all the chaos, from all the other crap around you. The arguments around you might feel sharp, words might feel intense or something like that. But I feel like you understand this and you know this. So be prepared. Pay attention to the synchronicities and things that I've mentioned in here. I think that you're going to know. Okay. I hope this was confirmation for you, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Would you let me know in the comments how everything is working out? What have you? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscription button. Okay. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get the next readings. All right. I love you. I respect you. I know I'm talking fast, but I'm just so excited. This reading just feels so much energy, and it's like you're tired of the shit and this new situation. It could be. Stay out of your head, Taurus. Let the universe unfold this naturally. Okay. So anyway, I love you. Good luck, and I hope to see you on the next readings. Okay. All right. Bye bye.